Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and tonight I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of Earth for the month of January 2024, new month already, and as I've been doing for the last year or so, I'm going to start with the I-Ching, and I cast the hexagram before I went live, before the video started, so that it wouldn't take so much time here, and then we'll jump into the tarot shortly after that. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this type of content, please drop a like on the video and comment down below your thoughts as the video progresses and let me know what you think. With that, we'll get started with the I-Ching. Oh, by the way, I read intuitively, so the messages that come through, we'll start off by reading the text because the I-Ching does have text with it, and then from there we'll go through what my guides are bringing through for you guys. So, the hexagram for Earth for January is number 38, the estranged and opposites. And the text is very short. The estranged, good fortune in small matters. So, I'll go through some of the commentary because there is some on this one. Fire moves upwards, water moves down. It's as if two women were lying under one roof that wishes do not accord, but when joy and beauty are conjoined, what radiance. The yielding yin principle advances, and the ascending middle, right here, responds to the firm, hence good fortune in things that are small. Though heaven and earth lie apart, they are one in their activity. Men and women are opposites, but their desires are for union. Everything has its own separateness and accomplishes its purposes according to its kind. So it sounds like there's a union of opposites coming up, to quote a line from a movie that I really enjoy. And that actually is mutual benefit, is the other part to this. So we'll start going through each line here, and we start at the bottom. It's regret vanishes, do not follow the straying horse, for it will return of its own accord. Though he allows evil men to visit, he remains without error. So even if things aren't looking great, this is what my guides are bringing in. Don't worry about what's going on this month, because just things may not look the best, but that's appearances are deceiving. What's going on behind the scenes is actually a return to balance and stability. So don't worry about things that are in the past. Don't worry about what's going on this month. Go with the flow type of energy, because even though there might be some unpleasantness around you, everything's actually working according to the plan. So the second line is, he encounters his Lord in a narrow lane, no error. This is just that advice that's saying, you're aiming for certain goals and you've got them dead in your sights, so things may not be going the best around you. Hold fast to what you know, what your spiritual journey is. Stay focused on that goal, and everything else will kind of fall into place. So let's look at the third line. He watched them dragging at his axle and striking his oxen. As for himself, his top knot and nose were sliced off. Not much of a beginning, but there was an end to his troubles. So it doesn't sound like this is a good thing, but where to say? There was an end to his troubles. So things might be a little bit hiccupy. They're saying you may get blamed, or someone may assume that you are the reason whatever is going on that's not so great is happening. The message that's coming forward to me is that's not actually what's happening. What's kind of falling apart for a minute is actually clearing out the dross so that the better stuff can move forward. It just, to the outside, those who are not in the middle of it watching are looking at it going, it's just not working. Source is saying it is, don't care what they think. So we have the where am I at here? The fourth line, this next solid one right here. After suffering an estrangement and loneliness, she met an admirable husband, and mutual confidence grew between them. Unpleasantness, but no error. Growth has pains. this is what the message that's coming forward is as things progress forward for you, there may be a period where something's just, it doesn't feel right. You feel like there's something a little bit off. It's not that it's bad, it's that you're growing through a situation. And sometimes you have to kind of show your strength to muscle through that situation to be able to grow to the other side. But like it says, after suffering and estrangement and loneliness, she met an admirable husband. So you're going through this hardship right now because the benefits are on the other side of that. And it's not that it's something that you can't work around, because there are ways to neutralize some of the more rough aspects. But that's what's coming forward. So there's hope on the other side of the hiccup. Let's see, our fifth line. Regret vanishes. The head of the clan bites through the flesh or meat. What is there to prevent him from proceeding with his plans? This is saying you've conquered the bad part. You've basically pulled the inner wolf out and you've bit the enemy and it's ran away screaming. And that's saying, once that's out of your way, who's to stop you? So you have to go through the little bit of a rough patch, and they're not showing me super bad. What they're saying is this is something that is going to be a little bit frustrating, because it's going to feel like you're being stalled in the progress towards your goal. But there's an energy working around you that's like, we've got to clear out some of this unpleasantness, some of the baggage, some of the cords that maybe need to be cut so that you can move into this next space. And our capstone here. Wandering, estranged, and lonely, he saw a boar covered with mud and a wagon loaded with demons. First he stretched his bow, then he put it aside. It's not an obstacle, but a matter of betrothal, which causes delay or hesitation. If rain is encountered during the conduct of affairs, good fortune will ensue. So this is, even though things may not be going great, even though you may see that boar with a muddy wagon filled with demons, that doesn't mean you have to engage with it. That's where he drew his bow, strung the string, like, I'm gonna do this, but then he thought about it. Getting involved in something you can see is going to be a complete and utter chaos show is not going to work for your benefit. And that's what that's talking about, is just knowing when to step forward, when to engage, and when to, be like, you know what, this is not my party, this is not my monkeys, I'm walking out of this one. And that's what the message is even though things might be a little bit rough, the outcome of January for Earth is going to be very much a positive outcome. What you're going through is clearing out the excess. It's helping you work through some of the karmic lessons and patterns that have been in play for a while. This is kind of like, we're going to push this up, we're going to bring it to a head, we're going to pop that pimple, if you will, and we're going to clean out the wound so you can actually progress forward. And that's the message from the I-Ching for the month of January. Now we'll hop over to the tarot, and the way I read for each month is I go through, or how I read for the monthlies, I should say. We go through each month, or each week, and I read a guide or guardian, and it is a guide if it's something to benefit you. It's a guardian if there's something rough coming up that week. There's a message from Source, which is a positive message of guidance and support, and then we have a lesson or a challenge through the tarot, and that can be a lesson as something to work on, or a challenge as be heads up that this could be coming up this week. And I do that for each week. There are about 5 weeks-ish in January, so we'll go through all 5 weeks. If the messages resonate for you, take that part, leave the rest for somebody else. And like I said, I read intuitively, so the messages that come through may not be exactly the same as the messages on the card. Also, if you're interested in any of the decks that I'm using, they are linked in the description box down below. And with that, we'll get started with your first week's guide or guardian. And we have the Archon Barbello and Picture Jasper. Not sure if I can... I'll read the text and then hold it back up. It's support. I choose to accept the reality that there is support for all levels of my being. I lean into the loving embrace of the universe so that I experience complete and ultimate spiritual fulfillment in such a way that all beings may gain spiritual benefits. I trust in this divine support. My courage and boldness increase. I choose to live with unconditional trust and confidence in divine grace. Picture jasper is a beautiful stone because it looks like an artist was painting and then set it into rock. And that's the stone for this first week. You also have the Archon Barbello coming forward, and these are both supporting you to tap into that connection to God's source divine energy. The heart of the Creator wants to support you, even though things may not be great this first week. The message that's coming forward is reach out to your guides, reach out to your spiritual community. They're also saying that one friend, and they're saying specifically just one friend that you have that's really close to you is going to be a major comfort this first week, because, and it's not that anything bad is happening, it's just the weight of the world kind of a feeling is coming on you. The holidays are over, it's the first of a new year, so you're feeling a little overwhelmed, and that's what that friend is there for, is to help support you. And the universe is saying reach out to God's source divine as well as your angels and guides, because they are here to support you as well. So let's look at the message from Source. God source divine energy, please show us the message for Earth in January of 2024. It's a new deck. It's not quite as chatty as some of my older decks are. We're still getting acquainted. And this is a Messages in the Water, I believe is the name of it. No, Healing Waters. It's a Rebecca Campbell deck. It's really beautiful. The message from Source is the rainbow, sweet relief, new beginning, and a new way forward. You're leaning into the universe. You're tapping into that connection to God's source energy, because the doors to what you've been looking forward to, what you've been planning for, are starting to open. You can start to see the end of the current journey. That does not mean your journeys are over, but it means that this particular cycle that you've been working through is coming to a close, and there's a new dawn arising. And that's the message from Source, is keep your chin up. Even though things might have been a little chaotic, things might feel a little heavy right now, the light at the end of the tunnel is there for you, and it's actually getting closer instead of feeling like it's always 10 miles away. So Source is very much wanting to make sure that you are supported through this next few steps in your endeavors. We have, my card's tearing. The King of Fire is your lesson or challenge from the tarot. It's motivation, idealism, ambition, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision to be a leader. Advice from someone creative. This is saying tap into your passion, the thing that you've been working for so long. And that could be a relationship, it could be a new baby, it could be a creative project. You're just about there. Do not let that slide. The King of Fire is coming in saying, I am here. Let's bring your passion to its next level. Let's elevate. Even though you may feel a little heavy this first week, the King of Fire is saying, we're going to keep you motivated. We're going to keep you moving, because it's forward movement that is how you progress through this month. And so the first week of the month is looking very positive, even though it feels a little heavy. You have a lot of spiritual support coming in, and they're saying that with that support, it's going to help carry you through the month. So pay attention to this first week especially. Now, your second week, we have the goddess Matangi and heliotrope. Already there is value. I acknowledge how far I have come and the immense inner value derived from my journey thus far. I choose to complete the tasks that resonate with my heart, seeing them through until they are shining with divine brilliance and beauty. I recognize the value of my past efforts and experiences. I balance passionate, purposeful devotion to my destiny with contentment and gratitude for all that is now. You've got very much supporting energy. So this is saying, even though the first week felt a little heavy, you had a lot of support. And in the second week, this is where you're starting to shine. This is where you're stepping into your power, because you've been going through a healing and learning process, is what my guides are saying, and this is the time for that to start to shine out to others. That doesn't mean you're gonna have to teach courses or go online or do YouTube or something like that. What they're saying is people are going to notice that you have changed, that you have grown in your life in general, and that's going to radiate out from you. So this first week, you have the goddess Matangi and Heliotrope coming in saying, we're here to help you understand what you've went through, why you've had to go through it, and this is how it's going to show up in the world for you. So the second week, we really do have some positive energy coming in, and that's allowing others to see that you have changed for the better. And sometimes that means you may lose a few people along the way. Every time you have a growth cycle, something has to give way so that something new can come in, and that's where this is going. And that's not to knock anybody, that's just when you're on a different spiritual journey, things tend to happen like that, unfortunately. So your message from Source is thank you, gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. So as you're growing and as you're working with this energy, it's really about understanding that heart of gratitude, feeling into your heart and saying thank you. Thank you to the people who have faded away out of your life. Thank you to the people coming in. You don't have to say this out loud. This is spiritual talking. But sit down each morning in the second week, and what they're saying is sit down and write, I am thankful for, I am so happy and grateful for, something along those lines at the top of the page, and then allow your mind to just go through it and write down until you fill the page with things that you are grateful for, things that you have gratitude for, and just fill that entire page of a journal, like a notebook or a journal. And then throughout the day, if it's in a notebook, just tear it out and take it with you. Through the day, every time you feel a little bit stressed out, take it out and read through that again. Get into that feeling of gratitude is what they're showing me, because that is the way to really shine forward with what has been presented to you with your guides and guardians. But it's also a way to remind yourself of how far you've come, because you have all this stuff to be grateful for, where even a year ago you may not have had that gratitude for those particular things. But they are saying do that each day the second week, so Sunday through Saturday, every single day, fill out a new page and carry it with you that night. Say thank you, and you put it away back in your journal, and the next day start a new page. So just something to think about, and that's a good gratitude exercise, because it gets you into that flow of being grateful for the things that you have, and that opens you up to receiving even more, which is pretty cool. So your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Page of Air: logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. So the thing to be paying attention for, and they're saying this is more of a challenge this week, is as you're working on your gratitude, you're going to have an outside person coming in being a little bit more critical. They may be being truthful, but they're being rude about it. They're not being upfront and polite, because there's two ways to deliver truth. There's that dress does not look good on you, you should find something else, or you can be really rude, and I won't say that now, but there's ways to make it very polite. You can make anything rude or polite, and this other person has that choice, and they're choosing to go a little bit more hostile because they see the change within you. And what God Source Divine Energy is saying is be aware of that, because the gratitude and the changes you have made have improved you, and this other person, and they're just saying it's one person on this one as well, doesn't like the fact that you have changed and are becoming a more spiritual person, a person who has a more locked in moral and ethical code. It's bothering them because it's irritating their sense of self, because they don't have that yet. So stay true to what you know in this second week, because there may be someone that's less than pleasant coming in, or it may be someone you already know that just decides to turn for a minute, and that's always fun. So let's hop over to the third week, guide or guardian for Earth Elemental Energy in January of 2024. Just one, I don't need 6 cards. But yeah, it's the second week's looking very good for you, but there could be a little bit of a challenge coming in just because of that other person that's wandering through. So your guide or guardian for the third week is the Ascended Master Kuan Yin and the Pearl. You're a divine rebel, which ties into what we've seen so far. Inspired by divine grace, I use my heart heart wisdom, and free will to create my own rules for how I live. I follow the guiding light that reveals my true soul essence. I place my faith and respect in the supreme healing wisdom and protective power of divine love. I embrace the differences and eccentricities within that allow me to live freely and fully as my true self. This inspiration and empowerment is essential to recognizing and fulfilling my authentic life path. So you're working with some powerful healing energy, and you're working with a stone that is one of the ones that's actually built out of pain, because you get this irritant that is just kind of sits there and festers, but when it finally comes loose, you have this beautiful shining pearl. And so you have that little bit of divine rebel. Yes, you have to go through the rough patch. You have to go through this process of being kind of broken down to be healed and brought into that higher state. And that's when you're working with Kuan Yin. And the pearl in this third week is understand that the things that you have had to go through and may still be coming to the end of, they have been polishing and cleaning you up so that you can come out on the other side shining. So definitely pay attention to your dreams this third week. They're saying that with Kuan Yin coming in, you have some divine healing that is going to be manifesting for you, and that could be a physical healing, it could be a spiritual healing. But this third week, they're definitely saying pay attention to your dreams, because that's how the healing will be communicated to you. So your message from Source is the Well Maidens, kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. So we're working with some divine feminine energy this third week, and this is where you tap into that peace, that deep well of relationships, that deep well of emotions, the deep well of your spiritual journey and growth. The Well Maidens are here to help you understand how deep that well really is, and how to draw out the most pure essence, the purest water from that well to share and shine forth. And they're saying that this is this part of what you started in the second week, where you're starting to shine the light of what you're doing. People are starting to notice it. In this third week, this is the outpouring. Like, they started to notice, and now they're starting to be blessed, uplifted just by being around you. You don't have to do anything, because when you start to elevate yourself, you automatically create a ripple effect, and it starts to bring others up. Some people are going to slip down because they're like, I can't handle that. But the ones who are ready are going to start to elevate spiritually with you, and that's the reason ascension work, elevating your spiritual energy, as long as you keep building on that, it helps elevate everyone around you. And that's where you do like past life healing, family line healing, and that's the kind of energy to be working with this third week, because you've done a lot of the work on yourself, and now it's allowing it to be spread out to those around you. So let's take a peek at the tarot for a lesson or challenge for this third week. Whoa, one card, not six. There we go. My decks are really being interesting tonight. We have the 10 of Air, the end of a difficult situation, embracing changes and expecting things to get better, recovery from an addiction or problem. So this third week, the lesson, and they're saying this is more of a lesson, is to understand you have already achieved the things that you've been working on. The growth practice is already there. You've gained new knowledge, new wisdom. It could be a healing skill that you've learned, and this is the time to put it into play. And the end of the difficult situation is everything that has kind of slowed you down along the path, those things that you thought were such a problem, and I've got to deal with this, I just can't. How can you be a spiritual person and, swear? Or how can you be a spiritual person and fill in the blank? What they're saying is you've worked through a lot of the heavy energy. Be glad at where you're at, and that's bringing to an end. It could be an addiction to worry, it could be a physical addiction, or it could be just a problem that you've been kind of toting around, some baggage. And they're saying this third week, it's time to release that. That's where the ancestral healing work comes in. That's where the healing, just meditating on healing the planet, comes in. So this third week is really tapping into your unique and fully formed healing at this time, because they can always get better, but at this time where you're at is beautiful. And they're saying use those healing talents, even if it's just at home meditating on cleaning up things and healing the planet, because Gaia herself will take that healing energy and direct it where it needs to be. So that's a way to work with that as well. So let's take a peek at your 4th week guide or guardian here. And we have the angel Lahabiel and black tourmaline, fitting after the healing week. Purification. I courageously choose to let go. I embrace healing and renewal. I release and surrender with perfect trust. I am cleansed through a powerful outpouring of spiritual grace and power. Spaciousness now opens within me, beneath me, behind me, and before me. Within this clean, clear space, that which is outmoded is absorbed and reborn as an unlimited potential for manifesting the new. Now is the time of potential and grace, which I amplify and activate through relaxation and release. I am blessed with the spiritual cleansing and divine protection to begin again. Black tourmaline is a unique crystal. It's similar to quartz and selenite in the fact that it primarily works to clean and clear energy. Black tourmaline also is a very powerful grounding energy stone. So this 4th week is really about grounding the lessons that you've learned down within yourself. This is a time to clear space, so maybe do some house cleaning as well, just something to work into that. When you make space, when you clean things up, it allows you to open more doors to better. The universe cannot gift you something new if you have a bunch of clutter in the way. And so with that being said, this 4th week with black tourmaline and the angel Lahabiel, work on clearing the things out that no longer serve. If you've been toting that bag of clothes around for the last 10 years, hoping that one day they'll either come back into style, you'll fit into them again, or fill in the blank otherwise, is it really that necessary? That's that space clearing stuff. And I'm not saying throw away family heirlooms, don't do that. But like there's some, I have t-shirts that I have not worn in probably 4 or 5 years, and I have started a bag to get rid of them. They're going to be donated, or if they're ratted out and holy, I'm just going to throw them away. But it's things like that where you just have to start clearing that space so that you can allow the new energy in. It's the art of feng shui, where you clear space so that the dragons can move freely, and that brings the prosperity into you as well. So let's look at the 4th week message from Source. 4th week's message from Source for Earth Elemental. Wow, energy. Apparently they really wanted you to have this one. And we have the sacred well. So last week, the 3rd week, you were working with the well maidens, helping you draw up and understand the depths of the well. This week, you're just going straight into the well. It's replenishment, self-care, and giving from a place of plenty. When you tap into that well of sacredness deep within, and you start to understand that you're connected to the heart of the planet, to the heart of Gaia, but you're also connected up into the heart of the Creator, it builds within you this sacredness. And that sacred well, some people will call it a pillar of light, but the sacred well is part of you. It's who you are. And this is where that divine energy comes through. It allows you to understand the depths of why you're here. And that's going to be different for everybody. So I'm not telling you why you're here, but this is to help you understand why you're here. And when you tap into that sacred well, that sacred water, it allows you to feel emotions from a clean and very positive state. It allows you to spread healing to others in a way that has no ego attached to it. And they're saying that, and I'm not sure why they keep saying this, but for you, Earth energy, this is something you can do at home. You don't have to go out and practice and spread the word. You can literally sit at home and do meditations on healing the planet, seeing the planet engulfed in beautiful white pure light, seeing it being uplifted and healed, things like that. So this 4th week is really tapping into that healing space, also kind of clearing out the clutter within your life, but that allows you to spend more time focusing on the healing and growth potential as well. So let's look at your lesson or challenge from the tarot. Aha, caught it. Tried to run away. We have number 16 in the major arcana in this deck, and it is life experiences with Archangel Camiel. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. This is that growth part. The major arcana is your life lessons. So this is saying your experiences in life have led you to this point. It is time for you to really understand your connection to God's source divine energy and your role in your life. Sometimes you wander through life feeling like you don't have a place, but now you're starting to understand what your place is. You're starting to understand the person that lives between your ears. Not the computer brain, but the spiritual brain. And when you start to build those connections with that life experience plus knowledge equals wisdom. That's how I look at it. You can read all the books in the world and have lots of knowledge. You can have a lot of life experiences and be completely dumb. But when you take knowledge and experience and you bring them together, that gives you wisdom, because you can speak from a place of, I've been there, I've done that, this is how it happened. So your life experiences are the lesson here is to bring your life experience into what you know. That way you can build that wisdom base, and that's going to be very attractive to people, but that's also going to support your healing work and your personal healing, your personal journey, your personal spiritual growth. Interestingly enough, when you work on your spiritual side, the outside world gets a little chaotic, just like the I-Ching said, there's outside forces causing chaos. But when you start to process that through, the people who cannot stand to be in your presence, and I'm not kidding when I say that, they will start to fade away because your growth bothers them. Because they know they are capable of that, they just don't want to. But they'll get there in their own time, so don't worry about that. But the life experiences that you've had are unique to you, and that is part of the lesson. That's part of the healing that you have to offer to yourself, to your family, but also spiritually to the world as well. So let's take a peek at that 5th week for Earth Elemental Energy, January 2024. We have the goddess Saraswati, and Ammonite. I had to say it in my head before I could say it out loud. From word to world, I cultivate the creative power of my throat chakra to prioritize, speak, and live my truth. Through aligning with that which I truly resonate, I manifest divine light into the world. I attract and am attracted to that which uplifts and assists and inspires me. Through my intentions, thoughts, and words, I shift my frequency and create a loving, healed realities for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I consciously choose my attitude and my words to transform all situations into growth opportunities for my highest good. So when we're working with the ammonite, which is actually a fossil, not so much a crystal, but we're working with this cycle of growth. The ammonite starts in the middle and spirals out. And that growth is what you're doing. You're starting at this, you feel is small and insignificant, but that's the word. You speak something into being. And as you progress, those words carry power. The Secret, the movie The Secret, and you watch Esther and Jerry Hicks and stuff like that. And if you ever read anything by Louise Hay, they always talk about affirmations. Words have amazing power. You can build someone up with just a simple phrase. You can destroy somebody with a simple phrase. And what they're calling you in this 5th week to do is use your words with consciousness, with wisdom, to create a better world. That's your spoken words through your throat chakra, but that's also your thoughts, because the computer that lives between your ears likes to have a program called I hate myself and self-destruct. But with practice, you can fix that. You can change it to more positive, uplifting self-talk, and that's what you're working on in this 4th week. And you have the goddess that goddess, also there to support you and help. So tap into the divine feminine to help you kind of not so much reprogram, but readdress the things that you think about yourself. Instead of saying, oh, I'm just not talented enough for that, say, I'm ready to learn to get better at this. I am learning every day to improve. Every day I get better at whatever it is. Maybe it's saying a goddess's name, but it's things like that. So you're changing it from I'm just dumb, I just can't do this, to I'm working on it, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm building, because each I am is resonating out to the universe that you are creating something new, something better, but you're also saying it to yourself, so you're resonating it through your body, so your body is going to match that frequency. And that's what the guides and guardians are coming in this 5th week to let you know. Your message from Source is making waves, momentum is building, it's your time and achievements. So this is tapping into that word to the world. You're speaking, you're building, you're growing, and it might be minimal. It might be one new thing that you have started doing and it's changing your life. Well, for you, that's changing the world. Changing the world doesn't have to be earth-shattering. You just created the next new thing. You're not, the next Elon Musk or whoever. It could be something so simple as, I figured out the secret to to life, what makes me happy, how I can grow and how I can build. So you're making waves because you are starting to understand how things really work. You've seen behind the veil to know how the Lord and Lady have created this planet and how the energy of the cosmos works, and that gives you the ability to make changes in your life, and by changing your life, it ripples out, and that's changing the world in its own little way. And it could be a major way, it could be little, you never know until you try. So that's where that is at. Let's take a peek at the tarot and see what your lesson or challenge is. It is the 4 of Air, time to rest or take a vacation, allow more time before making decisions, meditation provides answers. The lesson this week is take the time to take care of yourself. There's been a lot of growth this month. They're showing me a lot of self-healing, a lot of processing through of historical or rough patches. This is the time for you to shine, and that's what they're calling you to do at this time, is to step up and take care of yourself. Show compassion to yourself, to your home environment, and really bring that in to that calmed state, because what's the point of healing if you're not doing it to return to a calmed state? What's the point of growth if you're not doing it to find new balance and improve? And that's the messages that are being brought through for this month. So I hope you guys enjoyed these messages. Please drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the videos, even if it's constructive criticism. We all have to learn sometime and somehow. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Have a great month of January, and I will see you in the next video.